G'day my friends, how are you? I got a new border Stuka, the D version, which has just been released by the border model company in 135 scale, but the Chinese supplier put this dirty big sticker on the front of it, which is really annoying. But I got it pretty cheap. I got this delivered for 85 Australian dollars, where they're selling it in Australia between 120 and $130. So I did get a pretty good discount. So the sticker, well, that's what it is. You get some pictures on the side of your new border models. I don't know why they did the D5 though, because the D5, they extended the wings and they've used the exact same molding as they did in the G model. So I guarantee you the wings are the exact same size as all the other Stuka models. Why they didn't do a D3 or something like that, but they did a D5. And then you've got you get three options you can paint. So you can do Rudel once again, 1945. And then you can do a couple of winter camouflage ones in the winter of 44, 45. Or 43, 45. 43, 44. So that's pretty cool. Let's have a look inside. All right, so we've got the instructions manual there. We get a photo etch sheet. There's the air grills and some sights for your machine guns. And then you get this singular decal sheet, which looks pretty good. You've got your swastikas separated for political reasons, of course. Let's take a look at the inside of the instructions. Okay, so we get a breakdown of our parts. And then we go to the first part here where we have to build the motor. So we have to build an engine. So obviously it's got an engine in it. I think it's pretty basic because I don't think you can really show it off that well. And then we start to build up the nose section. The nose section is built up separately. You get these parts here that join to the actual body of the plane. This looks like a really cool part too. And then you see you join it all up, and then you get this all together. So, and then that goes together there. And then you put the actual nose sections on, and it's all completed. So you can put those in the sides as well. And then that will join with the actual bigger part of the plane, and then you start to build the interior part. Looks like it's pretty easy build. Then you've got some paneling on the side there. You get it all together. You can build your little rear machine gun there. And then we get the wings together. The famous gull wings. And then you can build your different bombs. So you can make, you know, some of these smaller bombs, or you can make the cluster bombs. And then you've got to build your main bomb here with its sling. So when it used to dive bomb, this would sling out and shoot the bomb at the ground very accurately. Well, not as accurate as they are today, but you know, for the time it was very accurate. You can put the bombs on. And then you just got to put it all together, so get the propeller on, and then you can join these together. Put some of the actual wing parts together. And then you got to get the wheels done. And then the final cockpit details. And then it's all complete. So it's not many steps, it's not a huge amount, there's like 19 steps or something. And then you get the different ones you can build up. So there's that first one, the 43-44 winter. And we get the other winter one, which is pretty cool because it's still got a bit of the camouflage showing off there, see? And then we've got Rudel's one in 1945 around Hungary. So these, you know, the Stuka never really was retired, but they wanted to retire it, but it never really was because there was no suitable replacement. The first moulding we will look at is sprue number D. So we get a lot of the engine parts here. I'd say most of the engine parts. You get some of the propellers, and this is where you build the propellers here. More propeller parts. More engine parts. And it all looks pretty good. I've always found that Border's moulding is pretty crisp. Always comes up pretty good. And it's unique, you know, like they do have their own unique way of moulding. And it does show. And that's the D sprue there. You get a few bits. There's nothing really to show on the rear because it is really a one-sided kind of mould, this one. All right, let's look at the next one. The next one is the C sprue. And here we've got some of the side paneling that goes in the fuselage. That'll look pretty cool. And that's where they sit. So it'll be the cockpit. That's the pilot seat. And that's that rear plate where you're building up the front nose section. You get some wing flaps. And then you get this full underneath part here. And it does have really nice moulding. See that? You get the little screw heads there. But all the little pop rivets. Then we get more of it. See how good I really like the pot rivets they have. Really nice. Now we get some more parts there. Looks like we've got some equipment. Radio equipment or something. Up here we've got the gunner's seat. So where did that go? Right there, that's the gunner's seat. Let's have a quick look on the other side. Oh, that looks pretty basic, doesn't it? But it doesn't really matter because you're not going to see any of those ejection pin marks. That's all interior stuff. And that gets joined together with another part. So all good with the C sprue. Okay, next we've got the H sprue here and the backwards J sprue. I don't know what it is exactly, that one. But this is the only unique one you get in this kit, and it's got all the little bombs and stuff, you know. Some extra 20mm cannons. And then you get the bombs. So they're the little cluster bombs, and they're the bigger bombs you can choose. Little cluster bombs, they go in two parts, and then you got some little parts you can use there. And the little cluster bombs go in these little things here. I might use the cluster bombs instead of the bigger ones. But on the bigger ones, you can put like these, I don't know, siren things on them, I think they are. And then the H sprue here, you just get some of the tiny little parts. And there's the actual bomb sling. So that's a pretty cool one. Now we've got some of the clear sprues here. This is a G one. That's got the front part and it's got some other little parts there, some windows. And then we've got this one here, the F sprue, which has got the bulk of the canopy there. You've got a few different options you can use. Canopy options. They look all good, don't they? No problem there. No problems at all. But I think, yeah, you get 3 different options, I do recall from the instructions. Now we have the A sprue. So this has got a lot of the body parts on it here. Very nice little moulding. That goes all the way to the actual tail part there. And then we get the other side. Get all the panel lines, all the rivet marks. It's very nice. And this is the front nose part here. And that does look well moulded. I do like it. Maybe you can have the engine showing by having that open or something. We'll have to look into that. If you look at the rear side here, it's got lots of ejection pin marks and it doesn't really look like it is designed to be exposed. But we can fix it up. Yeah, and this all gets covered with that paneling. So this stuff here gets covered with the paneling, so you don't need to clear that up. But the stuff that is double-sided, that is all good. So they've done well. They've done very well. The A sprue. Here's the B sprue with the actual wings, which won't be big enough for the D model, I do guarantee that. But they do look pretty good. They're really big though, and then you've got these extension parts you put right at the end of them as well. But they're really big wings, you know, compared to the Focke-Wulf. These things are huge. So it's going to be a lot bigger than the actual Focke-Wulf plane. And the Focke-Wulf's a lot bigger than the actual BF-109. Oops, a daisy. You see there that this is a very small plane. These are quite a lot bigger than the BF-109s, and the Stuka will be even bigger than that. So there you go. And the final sprue we get in this collection is the E sprue. And this, we've got the big bomb there. You've got the 30mm cannons for the G model. They're the 30mm cannons, but you've got the big bomb. I think these are, yeah, they're part of the cannons. See, they're the cannons there, 30mm cannons, but what we want is that big bomb. That's a really big bomb. I think it's 500 kilograms, maybe more. The D model could carry up to 1800 kilograms of bombs without its, you know, rear gunner. And I think that was only for emergencies, so it generally could carry probably 1000 kilograms. But I'm not sure, I'm not a Stuka expert. And there's the wheels there, they're cool. I like those, that's really in error, isn't it, that design there. All right, my friends, it's been really good speaking with you, and I'll speak to you again very soon.